Hello, everybody. Ben here. Happy Hannon Studios, live from the studio in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Coming at you live about Sk8rmania, brought to you by Now That's Wrestling, from the Green Bay Sports Organization. So we talked in the last video about the event minus the matches. Now we're going to start talking about the matches. This may be divided into a couple videos. I'm not overly sure yet. So here we go. The night started out with the Glam God coming out to start the show. He was just going up to the announce ring. He is going to do some announcing while he recovers from his surgery, which happened today. So Glam God, if you're watching this video, I hope for a speedy recovery so you and I can start our feud again. Don't think I've forgotten. Ben never forgets. So came out to go to his perch to do announcing for the show. Came out with a bodyguard, big old boy, to protect him from those that are out to get him. He was not wearing a tinfoil hat, I promise. His suit, dapper, definitely reminded me of the color of Pepto-Bismol. Thankfully, something I don't have to use as much anymore. So, didn't really talk, just kind of said hi to the fans, shook some hands, kissed some babies, and then plopped himself in his chair up at the announce table. Next up, Nathan Gust and Smash Jarrett came out, and I feel they did their best Shawn Michaels and Triple H impression. So the Shawn Michaels and Triple H of Now That's Wrestling. They called out XTC and Porn Stash. XTC opened his big mouth at the last show, made Jordan cry, and so Dad has to come to the defense of daughter. So they did. However, it backfired. XTC and Porn Stash won the match by a pinfall. There was some shenanigans, of course, because those two don't always know how to win without shenanigans, at least when they're in their bad guy persona. When they're in their good guy persona, they do, but not when they're bad guys. Now, since XTC did get the pinfall, he did win the 25-8 championship. Now, I must have missed that was up for grabs. Maybe it's always up for grabs. I don't know. During the match, Nathan chewed on a very sensitive part of XTC. Come closer. Very sensitive part. I do have a video of that happening. It not for the faint of heart, I might add, but watch it anyway if you're not faint of heart. There was a spot fest in the middle of the match. Everybody got to do their finishing move. That was kind of cool. It was great seeing TJ in the ring. Again, have not seen TJ in a Now That's Wrestling ring in a very, very long time. It was great to see him in it. He is just the GOAT of referees in the Midwest, is my humble opinion. It was also great seeing Nathan back as well, back from his Florida residence. To humble us, or to show us all how he loves us, and he is amusing in the ring. So, all in all, I give this segment and match an 8 out of 10. It did everything it was. It was a great event, a great start to the show. Got all the fans pulled in and invested. So, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, despite Porn Stash being in it. He didn't bring it down too much. Might have been a 10 out of 10 if he wasn't in it. XTC, however, of course, being the leader of their team, stepped up and got the win. Next up, we had JDT versus Kellen Quest. A good but not great match. We've seen JDT take on Craig, and I feel because they fought so much, they really had a second-hand knowledge of each other, and their matches were smooth and clean. This one, not quite as smooth and clean. There were some moments where it just didn't seem to flow right. It wasn't bad. I'm not saying it was bad at all. Don't take that way. Just have seen JDT and Kellen in better matches. I felt like this was just a tiny, tiny bit sloppy. The ending was a little disjointed. He brought the skateboard in. Wade took the skateboard back out because why would he just let him use the skateboard? So then he grabs his chair, brings it in, and then hurts himself with his own chair, which is kind of a running gag, is that he keeps hurting himself with his own weapon. And Kellen Quest then picked up the win. There was nothing that just really, really stood out about the match. Again, a little disjointed at the end, a little sloppy throughout the match. Again, not a bad match. It's not what I'm saying. Don't get mad. But it wasn't, comparatively to the rest of the night, was not like, wow, this is the best match ever. So I gave it a 5 out of 10. So that was the second match of the night. I'm going to stop the video here. So before we move on to the next match, I hope you're enjoying this video of the review of the matches. Part 2 coming up next. If I don't see you again, good morning, good afternoon, good night.